The guilty man, the old guard failed. Let that beefy head escape. CA School happily laughed, looked, and saved the glass in front, and said, no matter what. She can't make it up either. What a storm. You just left. I told him and 4 others to stand up. The world's work has been solved. We should go back too. He immediately answered the officer. Others raised their heads. With a look of regret. It's a little unbearable when you get back to the door. The others go with. They also quickly appear outside. They're all afraid to stand to one side. In the snow hesitantly uttered. Tried to punish CA to leave. Indifferent without caring about them. Then we all go inside. The snow asked for a glass in front. Miss, you don't know. There's no such thing as a white boy. A glass without emotion. Point your hand forward and answer. Died trying to punish CA. When I heard her, she couldn't help but scream. Dead SAO. In front of you is the cold body. After a long time lying dead on the cold floor, Kier D. The snow is searching for the lady. The old man simply said there was no snow. Let's go. Your eyes right now, filled with the soullessness of a corpse. Without any emotion. We all leave together. Let IP die after his death, lying there all alone. Sometime later in the world. Peerless Dynasty, First City. A holy voice echoed from a girl. Your Majesty, the throne of the Peerless Dynasty. You are still giving up now. It's a man. I can't stop sweating on my face. I'm afraid to answer. Give it up. The 4 of you are kings. Because you feel bad about yourself. The moon does not turn. Then he waved his hands in majesty. The announcement starts today. Or I will become a god. God willing to be his people. There are countless soldiers ahead. With a man before. All worship in front of you. We all shout together. The Peerless Dynasty of Eternity. The Peerless Dynasty of Eternity. She gave a sharp look forward with thought. Half a year now. You must have come back from the underworld. The man I loved the most. The moon is not, whispered his name in the head of the CA School. CA School image appears right in front of you, with different gases, standing above the rare things AI has. He was smiling with a smile looking down at her. The painful memory of the past appeared before my eyes. The arm of the moon. It's being wrapped around a chain around my wrist. That's the voice of the AI. The road is the 4 princesses of the Peerless Dynasty. It's a ghost. I'm afraid to think. If you're not trying to lack an owner, in time to discover her identity. On the wedding night, afraid that he himself has fallen into a smelting furnace. Are you desperate to deny it? Not me, not me. Between the weather, fierce thunder never ceases to appear in the sky. Min was not suspended in the execution hall, with 2 hands fastened connected to 2 side pillars. The cursing is relentless. The one who inherited the magic power deserved to kill her. Kill her. Suddenly tried to chastise CA, standing in front screaming, cutting off the current atmosphere of silence. I put my hand on my chest with deep regret. He said that the priests who killed the priests caused trouble for the world. It's hard to understand if you and I were not married. Rationally should take responsibility. Already said, he began to pull the sword in his hand out of its hilt. CA School turned to look at her with cold eyes. I declare that I will execute you today by my own hand. In the middle of a long torrential rain, as a symbol of today's grief. Min is not full of suffering. Your heart is cruel. He came forward with his hand up to touch her cheek. The moment that hand touched, you don't start to cry. with words filled with despair. I can't believe the person I love most is you. You wanted to kill me from the beginning. Then the CA school put on a smile of satisfaction and satisfaction. On the lips, he pointed the sword straight at her. I don't think that Zoe is so angry. Use hand not crack lan can of stone. In front of her came a thought filled with determination. In the early 3,000 years, I don't regret facing my father. To help you build the first dynasty in the world, not a few times have you washed away your doubts, is the bearer of magic inheritance, and wait for you 3,000 years in exchange. On the opening night was a mocking irony. You don't hold your lips thinking, I trust you so. It finally fell in. A tool for you to play the role of disgrace. Instead of you to bear the name of the disgraced heir to the magic. Death in your hands. She looked straight ahead and said to herself, now this birth. I must expose your hypocritical face, Ra. Spend everything of yours, that you may be hated by the people. Imprison you by your side. Your life is not equal to death. You don't expect to think. I believe we will meet very soon. Chief CA. Somewhere else, in front of you, is a gate, with 2 intricately carved iron doors. Above is a bright light. It's like a magical tornado. Strong shine and LAN radiates throughout the space. CA bar and lam thu, I cry out in shock. This is the guy in front of me holding his hand. Immediately explain, this is the relay of the eternal home. In charge of welcoming the owner back to the family. Maybe, opened under the horizontal arch occupies quite a lot of area. Mr. Han asked in surprise, can be opened up under the arch of the sky, the horizontal area. SAOCA bar next to stand watching without feeling. The prince's family is so powerful. He spoke up immediately. The boy is the missing owner of that immortal family. At the same time, he is also a true disciple of the great heaven. So this temple is nothing. 4 people stood there looking at Theo. The stairs loomed in front of me, led to the bright door above. He continued, you must know, even though the heavens are infinite, the man's condition is also the highest. And then the CA school started to climb the ladder. To move forward. You just went and told him to go to heaven. Their place will be arranged by you. The master immediately said yes. With a satisfied smile on the environment, CA happily said, we left not long after. Has come to the world of the eternal home. A majestic landscape with mountains flashing. In front of my eyes. On top of a mountain appeared. The bright light shines all around. Everyone there shouted with joy that the missing master. The owner returned, and the 2 gatekeepers bowed their heads, with 2 hands up front. Then say, in unison, the missing owner. CAs flew from above to prepare to land. Inside, a man full of majesty, sitting on the throne in front. Raise your voice to CA ask. Is back. He looked straight ahead and called for 2 hours. Father, the man is called father by the CA school. That's the eternal home. Lam Thien reinforcement. He started asking Han, is the work situation favorable? He stood up and walked forward and said, this time I went down to earth. People in other families are a little bit critical. Always listening to your direction. CA school finished listening. Just gently close your eyes and calmly respond. You must have heard of them. I'm in the lower world sealing magic. Countless priests thank you. You've even made an idol for me. The sky in front suddenly cracked. Success then, SAOVI help watch. This used to belong to the devil's weapon. I'm afraid I can't really hold it now. Then he summoned Ra the spear that he had previously collected. Plan in hand. He looked through his eyes for a moment and couldn't help but wonder. See, you should be another peacemaker. Tricks to get Buddha. It's not based on anything. And we can't find a clue. It's not bad. I can't believe it's become a spirit. Next, the Lord immediately told me to take it seriously. No matter what, you have a ghost. Only you and your mother know. Before you take over the afterlife, the owner should still try. Don't use it. CA School gently retracts the spear in hand, then calmly replied, Father is right. Then you two walk to another place in the hallway. Lin Tian started to update me on the situation. My mother has missed me a little lately. If you're back, if you have time, visit her at the temple. The school immediately said yes. He continued this time. My father is not following my father. He went to talk about their marriage. Good or bad is your future. Don't be like before this time. It's so cold to people. Lin Thien turned his head, with a smile on her lips. Fang is right. Before, I keep blaming people's tricks for not being good enough. But half a year back, what it does is admirable. There is the nature of the queen. My mother is very satisfied with this point, if it can help you in the future. The sky is wider. It is also something in your hand. CA School with a face of extreme confusion thought. Nuyet Min's fianc is not Sao. In memory, it seems to me there was no feeling for her. On the contrary, only her admiration for me grew. I looked to one side and wondered. The more remarkable is, for half a year, she suddenly changed her mind. Show your genius. This beat is the new female rhythm. Kai School hands on chin, with excitement to think about. Kai, mixed with countervailing husband. What path is it this time? Moving the scene to a certain place, with a spectacular mountain view. And the white birds flying. Around, there's a little shack sitting on the cliff in front. There are 4 old clans sitting in retreat. A voice echoing through. The school of CA since returning from the world. Not expected. It's already the peak of the landscape. Now the genius of the clans. I'm afraid it's hard to be his opponent. The old man with the long beard spoke up. See the location of the next owner. Fall into that family again. 3 lives belong to an elusive family. That's a little too much. The red-haired man sighed helplessly and said, It's a shame that 13 happened that year. So far, not a few bodies. I don't know if that old man is still alive. Or have sat petrified. Kier sighed, the old man with his hair tied up behind him. Also speak up, the old man's head 13. He is also a poor child. At a young age that was dug up by his CACA. The old man with the long beard continued. Recently, we hear little news from the land of the fairies. Looks like that kid didn't die. But it also reveals that the genius has regained the core. This news left the remaining 3 clans. Not out of surprise. Sao. At another place below, the big lush peach tree with beautiful pink flowers are constantly blooming. The first child is full of regret. Baby, we've got to get out of here. Peach Love anxiously asked again. I definitely have to go. I have only the Holy Spirit now. The supreme executioners Kier and the heirs of the old religion. Your power is stronger than mine. The fairy put her hand on her chest with determination and said, I have to find my parents and parents. You and the tribe. They had to spend many years under the oppression of the. I'm afraid it can't be restored to its former glory. She gripped her hand tightly, with regret in my heart to continue. Of course, it's still my good CA. When I was a kid, I stuck with him like that. That desperate name is digging out my core. Take away, the fairy Ni directed her eyes full of determination. Look straight ahead and confirm. This hatred must be reported. I love to trust you and tell you. This time of revenge, my teachers and I won't get too involved. Just rely on myself. The genie replied, I know that this is a love story. You're past with him. These years, the teachers have treated me very well. Thank you very much. They are also very grateful. When you hear that, you say this head. And she dropped a flower from her peach tree. Her wings quickly fell in front of her. Peach Love immediately said, take it with you when it matters. I can keep a life for you. If someone finds out, it won't be easy for me. Then the wings slowly enter the fairy's knee. Suddenly, the big stick fluttered down. When the Lord saw it, he looked at it. Then he turned his head and said thank you. If you love to hear that, go away. So the genie rides on the back of the big bar, then quickly fly away. When he left, he wiped his tears. Before you go, master, give me a knife. 2 masters, give me a rope. 3 masters. She screamed from above. First, thank the teachers. Years of foster care. Waiting for you to finish. I will definitely visit everyone. Then you and your brother quickly leave. The 3 masters stood there, looking up at the fairy and breathing. Long is finally gone. The girl who has been raising him for 10 years is a bit unbearable. But I hope it's smooth sailing. Move the scene to another place. The master is in the air. In the outer world of Western Longzhou. Then he asked where the owner was. The people below saw this and panicked. The false power of the god of the realm suddenly appeared here. Decline. These 9 levels are also what you can talk about. Immediately become the owner with other officials. Hurry out to welcome. I don't know how to worship here. Unwelcome from a distance, forgive me. The Lord asked me not to worship here. He shouted out loud. I serve without my host. They come here to find people. The owner is hard to understand. Ask the official behind. The people they try to assail. The officer replied that the owner they were trying to. That was 10 years ago. Not a few of them live in the ancient city of Jade. There are also some false leaders, just as they say. I wonder if you hear that. I turned to stone and looked towards the old city. His vision gradually drifted away from Ra, and immediately turned his gaze above the crowd. The fairy stands in the crowd. If you see that, pull the shirt over your face and think, I can't believe you sent someone here. You've had sharp eyes for years. Even though our CA has gone to heaven, there are old people there. In a short time, there's nothing they can do about it. My people. The Kier looked at him. Then consider that I've just left the land of the fairies. When not sure. Of course, you can't meet that guy. Then she turned around and left, thinking of the old school CA. If you dare to hurt the people of your tribe, I will make you dust. At the residence of the CA, suddenly there was a loud noise. It turns out that the CA school just sneezed. It's like trying to change the Earth's magnetic field. Then you call the system. Immediately, system appears a table of information about the CA. I wonder if you see that. The airlift point is already 2000. It's not that we've overcome the airwaves anytime soon. Here, SAO Kai, the color is still black, so many airflow points. What happens if you use it all up? System quickly explains the concept. This concept of airflow is the deductive calculation of the system. Yourself, air transportation also has a non-adventurous existence. Provide an index method to express. It's just a visual explanation for the host. Because the host is the lucky number. It didn't belong to heaven and earth. When the gas runs out, it has no effect on the owner. It doesn't affect life either. The context of the employer's opportunity. The system continues to explain that the airflow point of the host increases. It can only be through a surcharge. People with large airflow or kill the newly won Kai. To know that, the school said. So that's the air for me. It's actually almost like the point of destiny. Also for myself, we can get our own air conditioning. Airflow points can be exchanged for points of destiny. Ratio of 1 to 10 of the system quickly answers yes. CA laughed and asked, if you say so, this is the point for me. It's a horde. Can be exchanged at any time, SAO. He showed a sinister face. It is time to shut up the old folks. And then Kai. Order the system to exchange 1,000 points. More air for me. Immediately from the housing side of the CA school appears a strong column of energy. Shoots straight up into the sky. This made the fathers of the tribe surprised and hesitated. This is my father trying to land. Immediately realized and excitedly said, my son has broken through the landscape. CA school after the breakthrough. Look at yourself. To say, the landscape is, of course, a different landscape. It seems we can detect some of the movements of this world. CA school suddenly discovered that this core also seems to have a strange reaction. It's because the fairies are still alive. CA schools quickly consider out. We need to deal with a lot of things in front of us. Suddenly change the normal state. Is there a Moonming fiancé? They have just been loved by the tribes. It is also a fairy tale. I lost my faith as a child. And the status of the true disciple of heaven. That's my paradise. You show a sinister face, but thinking of going on a treacherous path. I didn't expect it to sail smoothly. CA school opened the commercial system and think about, related to the people. The old man was entrusted with the secret to deal with. But if you want that old man in the clan to shut up, just based on this, certainly not. Then you click on the law section to consider. Now I am a god of grace. You should also master a mystical principle. Right after that, CA school chooses to buy the law of infidelity prerequisite with a fateful value of 5,000 points. The system immediately appears. The king announced that he would. Immediately, there's a bright light on his forehead. And you're smiling contentment. On the side of the old people, they're talking about you. This old schoolboy CA. I can't find anything in the world. Even the gods can be trained. To the world like that, this strong pure breath. I'm afraid that, in all the worlds, no one is in time. The old man with a long white beard. Let us talk about the next owner. Not finished yet. Then suddenly, there's a sound coming. Kai invited the old clans to meet at the main court. They were surprised to see that so quickly. At a location on the high, it's the main crest of the family. The family members are gathered there. CA stands in the front, speaking up. Old clans can embody to meet the CA. It's an honor. You keep talking. Invite the old clans today. I actually want to announce something big. Position of the future owner. I think it is time to decide. The people at the bottom. When I heard that, I was quiet and didn't say anything. CA school looked at them with a calm smile. Your father is looking at you. One of the old men stood up. The owner is usually very important. I think we still need more discussion. The other old people heard that and said no. This owner needs a long discussion. Location of the host. I can easily decide this. No more arguing. The school heard such words, then frowned uncomfortably. I walked down the stairs and said, looks like the old folks got it wrong. Come here today. CA School is just announcing this to you. Not begging you to come and talk. Then he explained, I remember the rules of the tribe. It was decided like this, right? Every one of the owners. They chose Ra, the strongest of their peers. If the old clans see the CA School, the power is flawed. If only you had a provocative smile. Let me fight a battle with your sons. How does an old man argue against it? That's right. Only more powerful than the person who has SAO the position of the host. Maybe right after that, the CA School picked up Tay and interrupted him. It's about having martial arts ethics. Then there's no need to say. He calmly explained. The chiefs are clear. The best virtue in the world is force. CA School looks at them with contempt. That the strength of the CA School, stronger than your descendants. My Germany is higher than theirs. Many of you say it's true. When the people below heard that, they showed their displeased faces. Some of them speak up. I dare to say anything. One of them shouted. That's the spirit of the CA School. You're less than happy. Not having a good father SAO. I've enjoyed so many resources since childhood. In exchange for others like them. I am not inferior to you. The school suddenly called his name. Son of the Four Spirits. When he heard that, he looked anxiously and said, What am I doing? CA School points to them and speaks up. Good to know you. You all admire me for having a good father. At the right time for my dog. Find a good excuse. I watched them coldly. Weak people like you. They deserve to be at my feet. The people below hear you. Lose your temper, anger says. You try to hide. If you see such a situation, I advise you to stop the CA. It's too much. I didn't notice and kept talking. That's still the saying. The owner's place is mine. Now, or my brothers and sisters will join me. Make sure everyone's spirit. Or we'll meet you around the corner 3 miles away. Saw SAOCA School smile cunning. That make fun of the owner's position. Trying Ra is not something you can tie your blood to. The people who heard it screamed angrily. That's bullying people too much. Let me go. This guy's too shameless. This guy's too much. Even though he is stronger than you. But you can't humiliate people like that. An old tribe use sound transmission with others. This kind of trick is also the first time I see it. He was a young man in the first tribe. It's totally worth it, but as long as there's no results. Of course, we'll have an excuse to make it easy for him. Other old clans also transmitted that. A few simple sentences have fired you up on the bow. Now we're in the way. It's really not easy to say. This boy is too cunning. Then the other old man made a decision. If so, fight him. I also took this opportunity to see. Let's see where his talent ends up. Even though he always uses the sword with outsiders. But we all know. He's hiding something. FantasyIAmTheFatedVillain has always been observing the CA School. He looked at me with a smile and thought to himself in DTO. The old men spoke up. If you come to this country today, I'll take the CA's advice. They are the same people with the same blood. I hope you can act in moderation. The man next to him replied, No. If anything happens to my nephew today, the old man will run to the front of the old road to indict his father. I reached out my hand and said, CA School understands if the old tribe has talked this far. Let them go up. He showed a contemptuous and mocking face. That's right, we can force the VI down to the scenery. If you can't, the owner can. The spirit can't stand it. but in anger, screamed to bully people too much. He quickly attacked me and said indignantly, "I have to teach you at school today." The school didn't panic. Stand there and look at him. A rite of the spirit hit the school CA. But your body is blurry and indistinct. To my surprise, I opened my eyes wide. Then he noticed and looked to the side. The school is right next door. I raise my hand to attack him. A blow to the back of the mind. He didn't have time to return. The blow sent him crashing to the ground. It makes a loud noise. Try to see the scene just now. It's amazing, can't say a word. The old men saw that and talked. The shake just now. This power against heaven. It turns out that the CA always hides SAO. The old man changed his face and said no. It's an extremely rare nothingness. And time endowed with the name. CA school then stepped on the man named Kier. I looked at him with contempt. Then she smiled contemptuously and said, "You mean my teaching?" When the people below heard that, they were angry. This guy despises people. And the old Kier tribe is wondering, maybe we were wrong before. In fact, he doesn't have a heart. Right then, the body of the spirit tries. And then they're thrown down in front of them in a cruel way. Suddenly, the CA chief flew past the Kier crowd. Very quickly, then, he landed softly behind. They're all surprised by your actions. The school then called out to provoke them. Come on up, don't waste your time. Those people can't stand it. That directly rushed to attack, then shouted out. Home with no owner, what today forced? You have to beat him and beat him. I have to teach him today. A girl swung her sword violently. Straight to the school CA, but you're gently leaning away. Not expect to CA school and put your hands up right in front of her. When she saw that, she opened her eyes wide in surprise. I just snapped my hand on my forehead. That can fly, Miss Kier. The rest of you see that. They also immediately attack. They used spells in turn. Great skill and sword skills of yourself that jump up very quickly. CA schools not only do not shy away, but it's going straight ahead. With a sinister smile. Everyone is defeated in turn, because of his incredible speed and power. You are like a strong wind. They beat them one by one. After a series of CA school strikes, the others were all defeated. They can't hold their weapons. That fall down. CA school finished fighting and showed a satisfied face. Another guy comes straight down from above. But shout out the CA school, don't be extravagant. After the CA school dodged Kier's attack, there was immediately another name. A series of swords came to attack him. And shout out the sword of heaven. A lot of swords flying straight towards the CA. Make me move back. I didn't expect the CA school to just gently move its body. Was to avoid the whole swordsmanship of Kier. They didn't hit one in turn. And you're gently dodging. Not waiting for you to do anything. A beam of fire hurtling towards the CA school. I calmly look at it. Then CA school put Tay up for skill testing. I quickly gave the other hand towards the enemy in the back. This makes her not understand what's going on. But bewildered. Not expected. The fire goes from hand to hand. Then attack the enemy. The person you attacked couldn't stand it. That got hit against the back wall. The other guy was surprised and shouted. To use our nothingness to move plants and plants. SAO is cunning. They decided not to let you. And yelled out to chase. A series of their attacks. constantly tossing towards the CA school. You take advantage of the stone. Avoid all of their tricks. Then pound CA to the top high. When the Kier saw that, they shouted and tried to punish CA. You can't escape. CA school showed a cold face and calmly said yes. You can't escape. Suddenly, the mark on your forehead glowed. Unfaithful first. From above the sky, there quickly appeared a bright light, shining down. When they saw that, they panicked. SAO, the primordial power is so strong that I can't move. CA school immediately launched upper wound skills, down to the Kier. One of Kier. Quickly realize, it's the magic of the great patriarch. At the top of the family, there was immediately a terrible explosion, causing a huge plume of smoke to rise. After the white smoke fades, people like to predict. They were all defeated and fell to the floor. See the situation like that. One of the old clans angrily smashed the chair. He couldn't contain his anger. But to show my face. Try to see that. Immediately praise the CA and DTO school. The power of the CA school looks like it has increased a lot. Then, he landed gently in front of the old clans. They say we have played, and the old men have anything else to say. Another old man spoke up. The school has such power. Take the position of future owner. We all have no opinion. Even though SAO, the representative, lacks this owner, it is also the face of my father. He stood up and spoke. Now the religions of the world, they all have a transmission. If we're without a householder, we're out in the open. Neither does the future manager. Don't you make others unhelpful. Make fun of raw SAO. Right in front of you, there is no one better to choose than a school. Just decide like that. The other old people were upset to hear that. This old man never said that before. Another person also spoke up. Now, Lin Tian holds trying to Ra. It's also a peak period. Will not experience in a short time. The future owner, stop it. He kept talking. The old man must retreat and then try to figure out what Ra wants. You can consider it and do it. Suddenly, a stranger came screaming. There's bad news for the old folks over there. Then he whispered to him. I know what he heard. I was surprised to find out why. Then the old man shouted. You're going to pick them up there. CA quickly changed her heartbreaking facial expression to say, this doesn't bother the old people anymore. That year, I didn't understand. We will carry these burdens ourselves. The red-haired man was surprised. This is true, don't fool me. The school responded respectfully. In the heart of the school, CA is omniscient, know how to do. The other old man heard that and was happy to answer, knowing that repentance is a good thing. Of course, we believe in CA. Try to get up quickly and speak. You are the owner of the house. The future of our family is already decided. The old men of Kier decided and decided. Better than people. There is a sense of solidarity towards the old people. Of course, we have no opinion. It's true. People celebrate with the owner. People after being punished, CA hit to the left. Quickly perform the ceremony with a tragic appearance. Congratulations to the owner. The owner will make us proud. Higher than the CA school hearing that, satisfied answer. CA school will definitely not humiliate the mission. I quickly walked to the back of the school. It's beautiful. Then he asked me seriously, but there is something to ask you. Everyone left in turn. There are only two fathers left. CA and Lam Thien stood there. The Lord turned to you and asked, the school decided. Have you thought about what you said today? School.